Hello dear students, I am Dr. Pradap Naikwade. Welcome to your favorite channel PVN Science Study. Hello dear students, in this video we will study Funaria. We will see structure of sporophyte as well as germination of spores, life cycle and systematic position of Funaria one by one. First of all, we will see sporophyte structure of Funaria. This is the actual diagram of Funaria, which shows gametophytic generation as well as the sporophytic generation of Funaria. This is the sporophyte of Funaria, and these are the actual photographs of the Funaria sporophyte. Sporophyte of Funaria is diploid asexual phase developed from the zygote. Sporophyte is also known as sporogonium. The sporophyte prepare its own organic food by photosynthesis due to presence of chlorenchymatous tissue. But for water, inorganic salts and minerals, it depends on the gametophyte, because sporophyte does not contain rhizoid-like structures. Hence, sporophyte is partially parasite or the semi-parasite on the gametophyte. The sporophyte of Funaria is differentiated into three regions. These are foot, seta and capsule. First is foot. So this is the foot region. Foot of sporophyte is embedded in the gametophytic tissue. It is small, dagger-like and helps the sporophyte in attaching to the gametophyte. The functions of foot are fixation of the sporophyte to the gametophyte and absorption of water and minerals. Then second part is seta, as you can see here. Seta is long, slender, slightly twisted reddish brown stalk-like structure which elevates the capsule far above the level of gametophore. Internally, seta shows a central core of small thin-walled cells surrounded a region of thick-walled cortex and epidermis. The central cylinder helps in the absorption and conduction of water and mineral salts, and thick-walled cells of the cortex provide mechanical strength to the slender seta. And last but very important part is the capsule. Capsule is highly organized pear-shaped body present at the tip of the seta, as you can see here. The capsule at its distal end bears the remnant of jacket of the venter and neck called calyptra. Capsule is differentiated into three regions such as apophysis, theca and operculum. We will see all the details of the capsule here. LS of capsule is differentiated into three regions, namely apophysis, theca and operculum. So this is apophysis region, this is theca and this is operculum region, as you can see here. Apophysis region consists of epidermis as well as spongy tissue. As you can see here, the epidermis is interrupted by stomata. This is stoma. Each stoma is guarded by two guard cells. Often in mature stoma, the septum between two guard cells dissolve to form a single circular ring-like guard cells. Internal to the epidermis, you can see here chlorenchymatous cells. As the name itself indicates, chlorenchymatous means they contain chloroplast. So the presence of stomata, intercellular spaces and chloroplast indicate the photosynthetic nature of the apophysis. Hence, apophysis can perform the process of photosynthesis. Next to chlorenchyma is conducting region. Conducting region is the central region of apophysis. This region is composed of elongated colorless cells, and the main function is conduction of water and minerals and food material. Next to apophysis is theca region. Theca is the middle region of the capsule. The capsule wall in this region is many cell in thickness. The outermost layer of the wall is epidermis, which is continuous with that of apophysis. So this is the epidermis. Internal to the epidermis, there are few layers of compactly arranged parenchymatous cells forming the hypodermis. So this is the hypodermis. Here in this figure, hypodermis is two-layered. Towards the inner side of hypodermis, few layers of chlorenchymatous cells are present. So these are the chlorenchymatous cells. Internal to chlorenchymatous, there is presence of trabeculae. So these are the trabeculae. This is a cylindric air sac traversed by narrow elongated chlorenchymatous strips known as trabeculae. These trabeculae unite the wall of the theca to the spore sac, which is towards the interior side. So this is the spore sac and this is the region of theca. So the connection between the spore sac and the theca region is the trabeculae. The spore sac surrounds the central sterile compact parenchymatous region called as columella. So this is the columella region. As you can see here, the columella is constricted at the base, just above the apophysis, and cone-shaped at the apex, projecting into the cavity of operculum. The columella serves the purpose of conduction of water and minerals to the growing sporophyte. The spore sac is barrel-shaped structure, open at both the ends. The inner wall of spore sac is 1 cell in thickness, while the outer wall is formed of 3 to 4 layers of cells in thickness. So this is the outer spore sac and this is the inner spore sac. All these cells are colorless. Between the walls is present a cavity containing diploid sporogenous cells here. These diploid sporogenous cells divide and redivide by the mitotic cell division to form several generations, and large generation of these cells is spore mother cells. Each diploid spore mother cell undergo meiosis to form 4 haploid spores. Thus, numerous haploid spores are formed, but here elaters are absent. With this we have completed 2 regions, that is apophysis and theca. The third remaining region is the operculum. So this is the diagram which shows longitudinal section of the capsule showing operculum as well as the mature capsule with the operculum removed during the spore dispersal. Here you can see the inner as well as the outer peristomial teeth. The terminal curve-like structure of the capsule is called as operculum. The operculum and theca region are delimited by a constriction where 2 to 3 layers of the cells are present, forming annulus. So this is the annulus. Immediately towards the inner side are present peristomial teeth. These peristomial teeth surround the mouth of the capsule. Below the annulus, 2 to 3 layers of radially elongated thick walled cells are present, which form the diaphragm or the rim. The diaphragm or rim forms the upper end of the theca. So this is the rim region. The peristome has 32 teeth arranged in 2 concentric rings of the 16 each. Both the sets are on the same radii, hence opposite to each other. They are twisted, spirally appearing like an iris diaphragm. The apical ends of the teeth in the outer set converge towards each other. The outer ring of the peristomical teeth is called exostome, while the inner layer is called as the endostome. As you can see here, the peristomial teeth close the opening of the sac in which spores are present. The teeth are conical and the members of the outer ring show a brown striation of lignosuberin. The members of inner wall are small, colorless and non-striated. The function of peristome is control the dispersal of spores. Dear students, with this we have completed internal structure of capsule. Now we will see the dehiscence of capsule in Funaria. So these are the actual photograph showing capsule as well as the operculum region and the outer as well as the inner peristomial teeth. While this is the diagram which shows removal of operculum region and presence of outer as well as the inner teeth of peristome. When the capsule matures, the atmosphere is dry. The thin-walled cells of the annulus become dry and shrink. This causes strain which results in breaking down the annulus cells and separation of the operculum from the capsule. The growth in seta results in the drooping of the capsule. The separated operculum falls off, exposing peristome. And by this way, peristome is exposed. As you can see here, the outer peristomal teeth are hygroscopic, which show inward and outward movements according to the presence or absence of moisture in the atmosphere. So these are the inner peristomal teeth which do not show hygroscopic movement. They simply function as a sieve. In the dry atmosphere, the outer peristomal teeth lose moisture and bend outward with jerky movement, thereby widening the slit between the inner peristomal teeth and allowing the spores to escape through these slits. So these are the slits from where the spores are escaped. In this photograph, you can also see the escape of the spores. As the capsule is bent like this, even a little breeze causes swinging of capsule, resulting in the dispersal of spores. When the atmosphere is moist, the teeth absorb moisture, increase in size and bend inward with their tips inserted into the gaps between the inner peristome, resulting into the closure of the slit. This prevents the escape of the spores in the wet weather. With this we have completed dehiscence of capsule. Now we will see the spore structure as well as germination of spores. Dear friends, this is the actual photograph of the Funaria spores. And this is the diagram which shows spore as well as the different stages in the spore germination. As you can see here, the spore of the Funaria is somewhat spherical, small 0.01 to 0.2 mm in diameter and smooth walled. The Funaria spore has two walls. The outer wall is known as exosporium, as you can see here, and the inner wall is endosporium. It possesses protoplasm with a haploid nucleus, chloroplast and numerous oil globules. When the spore falls on a suitable substratum, it germinates. The exosporium ruptures, as you can see here, and the endosporium forms a germ tube. So like here, due to the formation of cross walls and growth, it results into the formation of filamentous structure called primary protonema. So this is the primary protonema. Protonema is a juvenile stage of the haploid generation, which later on develop into the secondary protonema as well as the gametophore. The gametophore of Funaria represent the mature thallus of Funaria gametophyte. With this we have completed the spore structure and germination. Now we will see the alternation of generation or life cycle of Funaria. So this is the diagrammatic representation of life cycle of Funaria. The life cycle of Funaria shows two distinct generations. the haploid gametophytic generation and diploid sporophytic generation. The gametophyte of Funaria is dominant, independent, autotrophic and haploid generation. This is sexual generation and produce sex organs such as male sex organ Antheridium and female sex organ Archegonium on different branches. Antheridia are produced on antheridial head, while Archegonia are produced on archegonial head. Antheridium produce the male gamete antherozoid, while the Archegonium produce the female gamete, that is egg cell. The antherozoids are moved towards the egg by the chemotactic movement, and the male gamete fuses with the female gamete by the process of fertilization. The result of fertilization is diploid zygote. Zygote is the first cell of the diploid generation. This zygote divide and redivide to form the sporophyte of Funaria. So this is the sporophyte of Funaria, showing mainly three parts, that is foot, seta and capsule. The sporophytic generation of Funaria is semi-parasite on gametophyte. As you can see here, the foot is embedded in the gametophytic tissue and absorb water and minerals. The seta is long and elevates the capsule to a greater height. Here, capsule can prepare its organic food by the photosynthesis. The sporophytic generation is asexual in nature. In this capsule, spore mother cells are present. These spore mother cells later on undergo meiosis to produce the haploid spores. The spores produced germinate to give rise to filamentous protonema. Filamentous protonema produce buds as well as gymi, and later on after germination, haploid mature gametophyte is produced. So here in the life cycle of typical moss or the Funaria, we can see the diploid sporophytic generation and haploid gametophytic generation alternating with each other. Dear students, now we will see the last part, that is systematic position of Funaria. Division of Funaria is bryophyta because plants are thallus-like or differentiated into root-like, stem-like and leaf-like organs, but these organs are not true organs because the true vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloem, are absent. The gametophyte is dominant, autotrophic, independent generation, while sporophyte is simple and at least partially parasite on the gametophyte. There is distinct alternation of generations between haploid and diploid phases. Class is Muscae because gametophyte is differentiated into root-like rhizoid, stem-like colloid and leaf-like phylloid organs, but these organs are not true. Sporophyte has capsule with great proportion of sterile tissue, but nerve cells or elaters are absent. As well as there is presence of thallus or filamentous protonema. Subclass is Eubria because protonema is filamentous, lives with midrib which is more than 1 cell in thickness. Capsule is elevated with much elongated seta. Order is Funarials because peristomal teeth are arranged in 2 rows, operculum without beak, capsule is not cylindrical. Family is Funariaceae because the capsule is drooping and calyptra with long beak. And genus is Funaria because 32 peristomatal teeth arranged in 2 rings of 16 each. So, dear students, with this we have completed Funaria. Thank you.